So if you're making a lot more money than you used to be and you want to know where to put that money, this is what I'm doing. I'm at the start of my journey. I want to get to 100k in my stocks and shares ISA. I want to have 6 months of savings and I want to get a mortgage. So there's three main assets, main things I'm going to put it into. To start with, to actually make more money, I just suggest getting into sales, starting your own business, which I've done both. I'm doing sales full time and then I'm going into personal training straight after there, so 12-hour shifts. There's a lot of money in it. I make around £5 a month, and then my online is just going to push me to maybe a 10k a month. When I reach 10k, it's going to be a lot easier to invest into all these different sections. I've split it up into three main things. The aim is to make more money with my really bad handwriting, save more money, and then to actually invest more money. So most people are hung up on this middle one, saving more money. That's all they do. They don't think about changing career paths to make an extra 10 grand a year. They just think about cutting coffees, which I think I've talked about in a previous video. It's not the best way. You got to do all three. But the main thing is starting with making more money. So as long as you're getting, say, at least 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year, if you're not, just try and go into some field that's high pay, like sales, like what I'm doing. Something that's higher pay per hour, even if you want to get paid per hour, or if you want to just get paid for the value. But if you want to start your own business, it's a lot of work. You've got to put a lot of hours into it. So making more money, I'll leave up to you. Saving more money is really easy. It's just cutting out all the stuff you don't need, like your car on finance. Another big one, takeaways. Subscriptions every single month, like lottery online, which I do just for fun because I've got money now. And also things like Netflix, even though it's not that much money. A lot of things add up. I work out my expenses every single month and I know exactly what I spend it on and what I can cut out. And it's helped me to actually focus on cutting more things out because I didn't know what was coming out of my bank and why. As soon as I started documenting each expense, it only takes 20 minutes. So go through your bank statement that month, see what you're spending, see what you can cut out, and saving is really easy. Making more money is even easier. You've just got to get into something highly valuable. Nothing warehouse jobs, because I used to do that and I used to work so many hours and you just paid nothing. Make more money, easy. Save more money, easy. Investing is where no one knows where to go. And it depends on what part of your journey you're on. If you've already got, say, 20k, you're at a different part of the journey to what someone else might be if they were just starting out making their first 5k a month. So splitting it up into, I'm going to say, 4 sections is trading 212. That's who I use. You can use whoever you want. I want to put most of my money into there, but first you've got to have more money in the savings pot. So this is just a regular saver with your normal bank on a crappy interest, basically. So a saver account. And then you want a high interest saver account, which is obviously limited. Mine's limited to putting £200 a month in. But think, if you're putting £200 a month in, that's £2,400 a year. On average, you should be getting £160 a year if you pushed it all in at once. But since it's staggered, it's about half of that. So you get about 85 quid extra. Meaning you're still getting 6.5% on your money. Whereas if you put it in the stock markets, it could go down 15%, it could go up. So I'd check whichever bank you want to go with. I've set up a completely different bank account. Mine's with Nationwide, and they do that £200 a month at 6.5%. So that's £85 a year for free. And then Saver 2 is the main saving account. This is where you want to get 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now, let's say you spend 24 grand a year. That's 2 grand a month. Let's say you want 3 months of expenses just to be safe. 6k of expenses up to 12k. Now don't forget, if you've got nothing in your trading account and you want to put 12k in cash, it's just sitting there doing nothing, unless you're thinking about a mortgage in the next 1 to 2 years, there's no point of having a full 6 months. So what I'd do is chuck 6 of that into trading 212. You get a 20 grand allowance. So I'd literally put a full 20k in. 20k a year in if you can afford it. So 20k in trading 212. Saver is £200 a month, which equals 2,400. This must mean you're making a lot of money. So at least 100k a year, say. The fourth one is Money Box. What I'm in is a lifetime ISA, which is Money Box. That's what I use. So you put in maximum 4 grand a year, which takes this down to 16k. And you're putting 4k into a lifetime ISA. You can only take this out when you're 55. I think you might be turning to 57 soon. Or if you're going to buy a house, and you literally put 4 grand a year in and they give you a free £1,000. So 1k free equals 5k. So I've made £1,000 a year for free just by putting 4k in there, 16k in there. Let's say you scrap that all together and you just want to put 20k in there. Let's say 5 years time you've got 100k, and that 100k is at 10% interest. Obviously you don't take it out after a year, you keep it in for about 10 years, 20 years. But let's say it's an average of 10%. When you've got that 100k in 5 years, you're going to be making £10,000 just in interest. But don't forget inflation. So let's say it's actually 7k, or just under, maybe 6.5. You're still making 10k a year just from having 100k in your account, but you're not touching it. So it just depends if you can actually. My friend was on about this the other day. He has a lot of money in his account and he was just staring at it. He was like, I could buy something with this. Do I want a TV? Do I want a new car? So it just depends if you can actually save that without digging into it, because a lot of people will. They'll just see money sitting there and they'll think it's wasting, but it's not. It's compounding really fast, especially when you reach the 100k mark, which is my goal in the trading account. This is tiny. If you tell someone about this, £200 a month, they're probably just going to laugh, but think, you can work your savings up at a better interest rate. So this is basically the same pot. That's the same thing. You're just getting more interest for a little bit, and then you're putting the rest into a regular saver at, say, 0.75 to 2%, which is nothing. So that's why I wanted a bit more for my money, just saving it in someone's account. I don't want just getting that for the entire amount. So 2,400 a year, and then that turns to a regular saver. So you just chuck that into there and you start doing the process again. Next year you open another bank account, 200 a month in. And then you just keep putting it back into there or into here if you've maxed it out at, say, 6 to 12k. I'd say, yeah, 6k, just 3 months of expenses. 3 months is the sweet spot for most people. But the first thing I would do is get this savings pot up to scratch. So get at least 3 months in. So as long as you've got 6k, then you can start putting it into other places. That one you can't take out. You can take out 3 times a year. If you take it out any more than that, it literally drops to 0.7% or whatever. So I'd start that for a couple months, go straight into that, so you're doubling up on the savings, while you're putting maybe 50 quid, 100 quid into your trading accounts. Nothing into the LISA yet, because if you do that, you can't take that money out. So let's say you've got nothing backed up. I wouldn't put anything in something you can't touch for until you get a mortgage. So step 1 for me is this one. Step 2 was that one. Step 3, which I did before these actually, because I had no money in my savings before this other job, and now I'm making a lot of money, but I'm saving a lot of money as well. So I've learned how to save. My expenses are 1,200 to 1,900 a month. That's nothing. Like most people's expenses is 2.5k, 3k, and if you're making 5k, you can push loads of money into it. You can literally put more than, what have I done this month? I've put 63% of it into these accounts. So I didn't need that. I didn't even need to let it sit there. Put 1k into there, 1k into there, and whatever's left into there. I think that was another k, just about. So yeah, step 1 is this one. Step 2, step 3, and then step 4. And now I don't mean step 3 is maxing out to 20k or 16k. You can still divvy both up if you want a mortgage. Now it's up to you. I'm renting right now really cheaply. I'm splitting it with my girlfriend 50-50. So the rent is £700 a month. So we're paying 350 quid each. If you get a mortgage around here in Stoke, it's literally, what, £1,000 a month you'll be paying mortgage costs. You'll be paying maintenance costs as well. And you'll be paying for all the bills and the council tax and everything. Here is just over that £700. It's probably just under £1,000. So we're saving a lot of money right now. So right now renting makes the most sense because it's really cheap. And I'm not going to find a house this crap, basically. If I want a mortgage, it's going to be a really nice house. So that's why if you put your money in a LISA, 1k for free, you're literally getting 25%. 25% for free. Now, none of these are going to beat that. 25%, you're not going to make that in the stock market. You might do 1 year if you're lucky and you take it out, but then what are you going to do? Nothing. So 25% plus the first year's interest on Moneybox is 4.35 on the first year, and then year 2 goes down to 2.8. There you go. So year 1, 4.35. Year 2 is 2.8. But you're getting 25% plus the 4%, so you're almost getting 30% return on your money instantly, because that goes into your bank after, say, 4 weeks. You can chuck that 4k in straight away. you can get the 1,000 straight away, or you can stagger it. £333 a month. That's what I'm going to do from now on, because I'm going to prioritise these. Well, this one. And I'm thinking about a mortgage in 3 years' time, because I would have put 12k into here, but I've actually got 15k. So that's £3,000 for free. And then I can use the savings that I've built up with a high interest rate, gone into this account, and I can use that as extra deposit. So you can have a 20k deposit, and obviously I'll still have more savings, and I'll have stuff in the trading 212 in case I do need to sell at any point. But you want a huge buffer, so that when you get a mortgage you don't have to go into this, because you want to get to the 100k mark. And don't forget, next year, let's say in 5 years' time you're at 100k here, you would have got 7k that year if you don't take anything out. Well, you would have got 10k actually. That's 110k. Now you're earning interest next year on 110k, so it compounds even more, because that 10 has gone back into the fund, and that's earning interest now. You literally can't lose with this. As long as the markets are going up, even if they're going down, I'd still put monthly money in, just because I keep doing that anyway, and you'll just have the average, pound cost averaging. That is the safest thing to do. Monthly is best. If you've got the money, chuck it in, but most of you watching, you're starting out on your journey, or you're just getting your first few £1,000 in, you want to know where to put it. This is where I'm putting it. Investing is the most important piece, but it has to happen at the end. So you've got to start making more, then you can save more, because everyone has a lifestyle creep. Even I did. I just went straight in, motorbike. I'm getting my course done for my motorbike, so I'm spending a few £1,000 more on that. But I'm not actually getting the bike because I don't want to get into debt. I want to wait till I've got 15 grand to push on a bike, and then get that when I'm ready. But I can even wait 5 years, because this is a lot more exciting than just getting a bike and paying 10% interest, because now I'm making 10% plus the rest. So yeah, it's a weird balance. Try not to get lifestyle creep. And I've got a few other videos on that if you want to watch them here. Let me know what you think about this video. Thanks for watching.